Merry me, Willow here, and hello to everybody that is watching. Please make sure that you like and support. So, welcome to Willow's Fairy Den Magic. So, as you all know, I've been doing a lot of stuff with my bedroom, and everything is looking stunning. But there are still a few little touches that I need to be getting on with. So, today I have gone artistic, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting some stencils onto the wall. So here we've got a beautiful mushroom piece, a very enchanted mushroom piece, which is perfect for fairies and for the fae folk. Then I have got a little fairy to put on the wall as well. I'm going to obviously paint in all of the colours that I want to use. I'm just going to go as I do it, and the insight shall come to me. And I'm going to be adding a few little bits up to here as well at some point. I was going to have my fairy one up here and my mushroom ones down here, but it's too far for me to be able to get up there, and I don't want to be risking anything for me falling or anything like that. So I'm literally going to do my one for the mushroom here, and over near my Hecate altar over here, we're going to be doing the fairy one, and then I'll have my little bits that I want put up for me, which will be my little fairy door and my little fairy. There has been a fairy star put up there, and one of my friends and somebody that I've helped a lot through some stuff that they've been going through has bought me some beautiful little ornament bits, and I thought this would be perfect to go in the fairy area as well. So this is going to hang probably around this area. So they've got a little gift. They've got some little pots that have got flowers around them with a candle bit as well on their windowsill. So they've been well and truly spoiled, as always. So yeah, we're going to be making the mushroom one. Now, I am no artist, guys, but I am creative when it comes to putting things together. Not really good with the drawing and all that sort of stuff, but if I've got a plate to go by, I'm really, really creative in putting things together. So obviously we're going to be painting today. So I'm going to be using a number of different paints to bring out the effects that I want. We have got a few flowers and leaves and stuff in this one. So that'd be really cool. So I'm going to use the greens for that, the fairy one. And there's obviously loads in the mushroom area. Got all your greenery at the bottom and around it that will need to be filled in. It's going to look really, really cool. The only thing is it's really difficult when you're doing these sort of things because you can't paint in where the hole is. It wouldn't look right. So we're going to have mushrooms with green heads, but it doesn't matter because I can add the dots, a bit of red to it and things like that. So I'm going to try and just do it myself because for a lot of these, it's going to be mushrooms with green heads with white dots, and they're not really that colour, they're red. So I'm going to do the outlines red so I can see where it is, and the other part's white here. And then I'll try to paint around where I've done the holes white and get some red in there, right underneath here. We'll see as we go along. So this is going to be interesting. So obviously the first thing I'm going to need to do is fasten it to the wall so that we can get the magic started. So I am going to slightly tilt you down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm thinking about here. Then there's going to be some butterflies and stuff that I'm decorating as well soon. So the butterflies will go around it as well. But the first thing we need to do is fasten template to the wall. It's a weird one. Quite nervous about doing this because it's not something that I do very often. I think go to plan either. Needs to be a bit further up because of the painting that I need to do. So I think about there. would be perfect. Stick it to the wall so that like I said to you guys, I am definitely not any artist, so this is really new to me. To make sure that everything is flat as well. So the last thing I want is everything getting bobbled out. So it's on. So that's supposed to be out. Like I said, I am a little bit nervous about doing this because it's not something I normally do. I need to get the packaging because it is something I'm going to be doing for my business as well. But it needs to be established. I can get on with it. That's better. That's better. So right, we've got the stencil. You can see. Voilà. I've got my paint and my brushes to do this as well. Now, what I am going to need to do is I'm going to obviously be using the green paints, as I said, as well. But I've also got my acrylic paints here, so I'll just be putting them onto the... And what I'm going to be needing is white, yellow, and some red to make the face. Okay, so you put your bit of your yellow and a little bit of your white. I mean, a bit of your yellow and a bit of your red, and then you add your white to make a pale face tone and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the fairy side. But obviously, this one we're actually painting in the mushrooms and stuff at the minute. So we're going to need some greens. So I'm going to use these green tones down here, and I'm going to probably... I'll try and have a look at the other things I want to use. We're going to need some reds. We're going to need a beautiful blue. Beautiful light green. And definitely some yellow. And we're going to need some brown for the stalks. Right, so that's what we're going to be using for this one. Got water down here, got the other green paints as well. Because what I'll do is I'll just paint over and do the stencil itself, then I'll add some like colourage in. So we're going to do that. Boo keeps them sitting outside there because it's too hot. Probably a good thing, good mum with paint. Hope that everybody is okay. I'm probably not going to be able to see anybody's messages, which is going to be annoying. Where are the messages? I don't see any messages. I might have to get my laptop up in a minute so I can see what people are writing, but let me sort this out first. I'm going to need some fine toothed ones. I'm going to need these ones. And I need 3 of the bigger ones. The smaller ones, and then keep them there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to be needing we've got 3 different greens there. We're going to need them. And we're going to need a skinny one. The rest of them will keep them because that is for my fairy crafting. So right, we've got the paints. So what I'm going to do is just squirt a little bit of each one out onto clay. Like that. Just put in just a little bit of each one. Bit of red. And the dot hits, dot shall stay. Blue. And the light. So put all of the paints onto the dish, got the brushes, which I'm just going to stick into my water, and then I can just go to them as I need them. What I want to do is get on the floor, because it's going to be so much easier for me to see. Start the magic. I've obviously got glitters as well, guys, that I'm going to use over the top once I've took everything off, just to bring in that colour. But first, what I want to start with is the stick parts. And the leaf. The mushrooms, I'm obviously going to paint around this areas in the red. Do some of it red and some of it white for these ones. This is obviously going to be mainly white dots, and then I'll have some red going here, here, and around this bit. But the leaf, that one I'm going to do in a yellow. Maybe a tint of red in the corners. So yeah, it's going to look really cool when it's done. The thing stops moving. So, as I said, if we just put all the brushes into the water, it's going to make it so much easier. So we're going to start off with the dark leaves, which I'm going to have at the bottom parts of the stencil. And we've got the browns. What's a beautiful, strong smell. I like it. Could have probably got some gloves, or should have got some tissue so I could wipe my hands down. That might be a good idea, actually. Gonna move that this way because it's in the way. Just go and get some. Let's start. And I want to just get my laptop and actually see what you're all writing. Because at the minute, I'm in, like, literally, I don't even know what you're doing. Just can't see anything. Yeah, I want to be able to see what you're all writing. That would be brilliant. So, bring in. Perfect. Bit of a slow start, guys, but I'm getting stuck. Come on. Getting quite on as well, isn't it? Might put my light on just in case it starts to get dark. By the time I'm finished, I'm sure it will be. Um, I do apologise, guys. The laptop takes ages to sort itself out. Probably have a little bit of fairy music in the background, maybe. So much battery life I've got on my phone. Right, so I have to get them charged. But yeah, so I'm able to get the stream up. Sorry, guys, but it's better to have everything where I want it than not. That way, everything is going out it's meant to go, and I'm happy. Yeah. So that my phone sounds off on that. We don't want anything echoing and doing whatever. So we will put some fairy music on. Make sure the volume is not right up so you can actually hear what I'm saying. I do like to have my fairy music. I feel happy when I've got my fairy music. Who's in the room? Got Kimmy says hello. We've got Maxie. How are you? Hope that you're all well. Blessings, my angels. Right, now I'm really into this fairy music at the minute. So let me just move that over there so you can actually still hear me. Here it is. Right, let's go. So for anyone that is just coming in the room and wondering what the hell I'm doing, I am getting creative with doing my stuff in the bedroom. So just about to paint a stencil of mushrooms onto my wall. I'm going to start with a stunning green. So I'm excited. And I want the tissue because I've got my fingers going. That's where this all started. And we've got other colours here. So we're going to start with the bigger brushes just to get the green knee. And just start putting the ball. And obviously where there is loads of different green, you need to do them in different tones of green. So that we don't look too much in the picture. And as I said, definitely no artist. But I do have my creative sides. I've got my white. You need a white. Hang my fingers up with, guys. Oh, yeah. All right. It looks like so far, guys. Hang on. Right, get the lids, come back up to me. See how it looks. If I'm not quite, I can't promise that it's all completely in the lines, but I try my best. Let's have a look. Right. So this is what it looks like. Hi, Kerry sis, how are you? So that's what, yeah, sorry, you're not seeing it properly. So that's what it's looking like so far. It's done. I'm just scared about taking it off the wall. Because I don't know what's going to turn out like. Right, well, it is the moment of truth. Hang on a minute. You're always going to have bits you've got to patch up, sort out. And I have definitely got to this up. Hmm. Oh my god, it took me ages, guys. My hands were shaking and everything because when I pulled it off, it just looked weird with the white bits, so I just filled it in. I don't like it with the white bits in it. I like it to be. Oh my god, it looks like it's cute. So pleased with it. And then I've got this to go up here. We've got my little fairy to go up on the wall, and my little fairy door. Oh, I don't think you can see it on that one, sorry. I've got my fairy door to go up on the wall. I was doing it on my laptop, guys. You can't see me on my laptop. And I've got that to go up on my wall. And their little gift. I've got a fairy to paint, but I might wait until another day to do that because I'm actually, my legs and that are killing me. Look how beautiful it looks out on that, though. Look. Can you imagine what that would look like as a picture, guys? That would look so pretty. I painted that. Crazy. And the good thing about it is you can wash this off. It does come off. Bit of soap and water. So take the tape off because this is one of the stencils that I'll be using for my artwork as well. For the fairy stuff that I do, doing it onto a board. I'm actually thinking to just trace around it and just paint everything the way I want it. But it does look really cool. I'm really impressed with it. I wanted to put some glitter on it, but I don't think it needs any glitter, to be quite honest. I think I should keep the glitter for when doing my other stuff. I've just got to put that and the plate with the paint on it. Artist plate. Um, and the brush is into some soap water because it's only acrylic paint. So it's pretty quick. It looks so beautiful though on that. It does look amazing though. Really, really pleased with myself. So my fairy's the next thing that I'll be doing another time, which is this one. I'm probably going to do that tomorrow. I've been on the floor all that time and my legs and everything are dead. Somebody's dog going nuts outside as well. I've got to get bigger bottles of acrylic paint, to be honest, because of where I'm doing the fairy stuff. But this was kind of a trial and error to see how I get on doing it. And I actually think that I do a pretty spectacular job. So, and obviously, a lot of the stencils and stuff I'll be using are the more basic sort of mushrooms and fairies and stuff. As long as I've got the outline of it, that's the main thing. And it'd probably be easier to do it onto a bit of wood than onto a wall. If I can do it onto a wall, I'm going to try and doing it on anything else. So, different coloured greens were used into it. I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. I'm like, oh my god, I've got a little thing on my wall. Right, these have got to go in the wash. Let me just go and I am gonna. I'll do that. The cups are in, the buckets are in the water at the minute, so I can sit and talk to you for a few minutes. So yeah, I've got the main one that I wanted on the wall. My fairy's going down their Hecate altar over that way, but I'll do that tomorrow. And I'm wanting to, when I do that, I'll hang this this will all get hanged up tonight, so it's out of the way. But once I've done I've done the fairy over the Hecate altar, I've almost done. All I've got to do is get more ivy to go on here. Then I can start focusing on my business stuff, which is what I really want to do. Getting some designs together. See, these ones are more easier, so you'll be able to do some pretty things with that, and I'd like snazz it up with glitters and all sorts. This one's a bit of a more complicated one, but on a piece of wood. I think it will come out really pretty. Just because it was on the wall and it was being done from an awkward position. It was very interesting. Don't know why I've got my partner's cross on my thing, but there you go. And now it's not going to let me get it off. That's it. Thank you. So yeah, I've done, like I said, these have got to go out into the kitchen at some point. But I've got a little bit of washing up on each do first before I do them. So put that there for a minute. And that's out the way. Put the paints off on the here, out the way. Like I said, I wanted to put it on it, but then I thought no. But the big neglects for all of my fairy stuff that I make. And that's how well, don't that's it. Bring you down to here so you can see me better. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let me just take my stuff out. So yeah, everything is coming together, guys, big time. It's doing a lot better. Coming round with it. Do them in a bit. Okay, so I don't lose them. Paint all over my hands. I should go and wash that off quickly, really. Then I can talk to you guys. Right, I'm back, my angels. I just had to make sure I got all the paint and everything out of the way. Obviously, when you've got pets, you have to make sure your pets are safe. So, yeah, it's important to make sure you tidy anything away so they don't get sick. And I have to remember to keep my camera a little bit more further up because my bed is a lot higher. So I've got a new bed. Dash is absolutely amazing, guys. He's doing absolutely well. Apart from his eyes and stuff, he's good. He's still with it. He's just over here now. Oh, no, can't see him in that one. Keep forgetting. Try and get him to come up on the bed. He wants to get up and sit with his mummy. That's what he wants to do. Come in. Come in. Get up. Good boy. Lay down. There he is. There's my baby. Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't disturb me. Just lay there and behave. Can't talk. Yeah, it's been crazy. So for days and days and days, I could not get myself into doing anything with my bedroom or anything like that. I'd got everything decorated, but I need to get stuff up and just little things finished, and I just didn't have no go. So today I decided that, this isn't going to happen and I'm going to do this. So, and where for the last couple of days I've been doing my altars and I've been feeling more positive, it's been getting me in that makeshift to get on with things and to get things done. And I do love doing it, but you do have to be pet friendly as well because you don't want your dogs getting sick from doing all that stuff as well. So I've really, really enjoyed doing that. And just to think, a little tiny bit of art like that has took that long. It's took 2 hours and 22 minutes. Obviously, I had a little bit of a talk at the beginning, and then I had back and forth getting bits. So I'll give that 20 minutes. So it took a while to do it, but exactly, it's been so hot. It's so hot. No energy, no get up and go. Not to mention all the stuff that's going on in the solar system and everything like that. Yeah, my guys are making it very clear that there's a lot of energy changing and that we're going to be feeling weird a lot at the minute, and we have been. So just to stay positive and stay in that mindset and do the things that we need to do is what's really important. The weather has been crazy in the UK. It's been really, really hot constantly, and some of it has been so unbearing that you don't have no energy to do anything. You just want to sleep or lock yourself away because you're so hot. And the houses here, they're not made for heat because they're made to keep heat in. So it's been not wanting to do anything, not had no up and go, not to mention stuff in life. A few days ago, I started lighting my altars again, more regular and doing things for people, which I always do anyway. But, I've done that and I have been starting to feel more positive, and I've been feeling like my bum's getting kicked a bit and that I'm actually getting on with things again now. So I've done that beautiful little piece there. I can't wait to do my fairy over there tomorrow. I'll probably go live to that again. I should have been here tonight actually making my butterflies to go on my walls, but I said that I'll have it done by this weekend. It's more than likely going to be by Monday it's done. Because I've got to paint the butterflies with the greens that I've just showed you. I was going to do those sort of greens with a bit of white in them and then just use glitter just to glitter them up. But I wanted to do all of that live so you kind of see what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm so glad that I did come live though, because I haven't done it for ages. I haven't been live for ages. It's not been feeling up to it. And I thought, "Do you know what? I'm going to do this. The guys are probably like watching it, so I'm just going to paint my bits with them here." The only one that went a bit screwy from those mushrooms is the one that I've done at the bottom, because where all of the shape had gone funny, so I've kind of made it thicker. But it don't matter. It still looks cool. It's just like a little toadstool with the white bit in the middle. Does look so cool though. Very impressed. And you imagine that sort of picture with loads of glitter and other bits in it. It's going to look stunning. I'm glad that you enjoy watching Sister Kimmy. Yeah, same. It gets muggy, humid. You just can't breathe in the UK when it's like that. It's horrible. Yeah, yeah, defo summer wing here. Yeah, it's nuts to think that not that far away it's going to be Halloween again. We're already going to be in August in less than 3 weeks. We're going to be in August. And then we've got like 4 months until Christmas again. Like the time is flying by. I'm surprised that we even keep up with anything. It's going so quickly. And the kiddies and everything have started breaking up from school and stuff like that now. Been sitting like this for months, Maddie, getting all of this sorted out. I just want it done now. I need that place that I can go to and relax and be able to just come away from everything I do. Obviously, where I help a lot of people and I use a lot of energy, and I do a lot with nature, and I connect with a lot of spirit. I've constantly got energy around me, and sometimes I just need that little place that I can come to and just let go and just feel like I'm truly home and feel truly comfortable. And my bedroom and my witchy front room do that. What do you mean, sis? You don't like to think of what comes after? What do you mean? Oh yeah, the cold weather can be a bit annoying, but you know, all weathers are important and special. And I could deal with it if I've got a nice fluffy jacket on and I'm warm. And I intend to not go out too much in the winter because of my arthritis and things like that. So that'd be when I mostly enjoy being in here. The heating on it, nice and warm and just relaxing. All the Christmas decks up. It's going to look amazing because of the green, having some decorations and that, and it's going to look so magical. It looks magical already. I just can't get over how beautiful it looks. Like I said, not completely finished yet. I've still got to get some ivy for the bed and put my fairy there. Got a couple of little bits to put up there. Then I've got to make all my butterflies and put them on the wall. Once I've done that, this bedroom is done. See my little fairy area, guys, on my windowsill. Would you like to see it? See if I can get you closer. No, you need to come this way, Dash. You can't get in the way as well. That's it. And the little pots that you're seeing on the windowsill on you So pretty. Now we've got to put you back down without cutting you off. That looks so cool. So cute. And some my beautiful big girl that's behind me as well. She's absolutely stunning. Everything is, it just looks so magical. Everything just looks really cool. Yeah, it's my windowsill where the window is, and they're all on there. Everything's just like you can't really see everything all at once because it's sitting on this stool, but you've got like here, and you go around and you've got all my lighting and things like that. Obviously, you've got the area I've just showed you. This side, you've got more fairy stuff going around, my teddy bears, pictures of some more pictures. And then I've got obviously a fairy flag on there. And then I've got fairies on the inside. So that's what it looks like. And then my bed, obviously. Everything just looks really, really cool. Once the butterflies are up and everything's completely done, I'm going to be happy. This fairy won't be happy till it's all done. But sadly, I can only do little things on and off because of where my arms and things start to. That's why I'm rubbing my arm at the minute because my arms are killing me. They've been killing me for days, but I really need to get this bit of art done. I needed it. So I'm glad I've done it. That's one less thing to be worrying about now. It does look beautiful. It just looks really random when you look at everything. And they're like lines. It makes me want to just go and fill them in with the paint, and not used to seeing them as lines. In some ways, I do wish that I could draw. If I could draw, I'd be perfectly fine. It's beautiful there. I am going to get off of here soon, guys, because I've got to get something to eat. I just want to sit and chill now. But I'll be in the chats where we are, ladies, and it's been really, really good to be on and talking to you, my angels. I'm sorry at the beginning I weren't really talking because I was doing the decorating and things, but really, really good to just have you here and being around you. And I'm glad that you were part of this stream and that you've enjoyed it. And keep tuned for the rest of it. And for anybody that hasn't looked at my invites that I've given to you, I've not invited everybody to my group yet because I'm still uploading and doing whatever. But there will be some invites and stuff going out to a few people in the few days or so to do with my business, which is going to be really cool. Which is where I'm going to be starting to do all my enchanted, like fairy houses, fairy doors, fairy signs. I will do some artwork like this, but a lot of it is going to be where I make things and then I make them into pictures and make them enchanted and glitter them up and make them look really cool and do my own thing. I enjoy having my sisters and brothers in here as well, sis. And it's been really nice. I have missed all of you a lot. And I do apologise that it's been so long that I've been on, but life's just a bit up, down all the time at the minute, and I have to just make sure that I'm keeping my head in the right place. It isn't because I forgot about you or I'm not bothered anymore or anything like that. It's just, sometimes you just need to focus on you and work on yourself so you get back to being normal. But I do love you all and I do appreciate you all. You are very, very welcome, Mazzy. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, sweetheart. And I'm going to be trying to get back online as much. I know I keep saying that, we all do, but it will build up and we will be back online doing things. I am very much in the need to do some fairy garden watches. So that's going to be coming up now. The summer's here and some things. There's going to be some fairy garden watching, probably a couple of little investigations at the graveyard. And probably do couple of little things in here as well that I would normally do. Just try and get a bit of normality. Maybe do the odd little card reading show. Get that in. But I'm just trying not to do too many things all at once because it can be stressful. At the minute, my focus has been trying to get my bedroom sorted out and getting my areas sorted out so that I can go and start doing my hallway quickly as well. I want to get that all painted, all nature looking and that. And then in a couple of weeks, starting all my designing for my fairy stuff, which I hope that I'm going to get lots of customers and people that want to buy things and stuff like that. Yeah, obviously there's going to be postage and stuff you'd have to pay if it travelled overseas and stuff, but it'd be so worth it with having handcrafted items that are stunning and done with lots of love and blessings. So yeah, there should be a lot of beautiful stuff for me to sell at markets and other places and to inspire you guys as well. Yeah, where I painted the wall, it's decided to stick to my nail varnish. So I'm going to have to take all of my nail varnish off and put new one on. Yeah, I'm gonna be making a lot of fairy furniture and I've got sticks and things like that for that. I've got sticks, I've got bits of wood that's gonna make their furniture and then I'll decorate it up with flowers and different things I've got. I'm gonna be making fairy beds, fairy tables and chairs, fairy benches and table. Like just little things that you can put outside for your fairies and things like that. Then obviously I'm making things like fairy signs, figurines, posters, and stuff like that. I will be doing the odd flower wreaths and stuff as well, artificial flower wreaths for the different seasons, things like that. Um, I'll be doing a lot of stuff to be honest, a lot of fairy stuff, and there'll be a few dragony bits as well. So I think that's really important. So going to be so cool when it's done. Yeah. Oh yes. All of my stuff that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be filming and that because I'm going to need to have it up for customers as well anyway, so they can see what I do. And because a lot of it will be going to festivals and things as well. So yeah, there will be filming. and I will be recording anything to do with the fairy stuff that I'm making. And obviously, like I said, I've still got my fairy to paint on the wall, and I've still got my butterflies to do. I'll be doing them live or pre-recorded as well. So you will get to stay in with what's going on, definitely. And I've got I've got some more, like, that I've done the fairy garden outside and stuff. I'm making another section in it because over near where my back door is, I've got a stone area that's got my tank at the moment. Well, I'm going to move everything out of that tank, wipe that and wash that down, turn that on its side. And I'm supposed to be having some legs brought. And I've got this old dog bed that I use for Dash. And then I've decided to throw it, well, not throw it away, but put it outside. And I'm going to wash it, hose it down, get it completely done, put some bags in it to like cover it. And then I'm going to get mud, soil, put soil in there, and I'm going to make two more sections of fairy gardens outside. And I've got a few bits that my friend brought me over that needed some support today. They brought me over a few different little fairy bits, well, flower bits, and I thought they'd be ideal to go in my little fairy section when I make it. So I'm going to be filming when I do all that. The glass tank I'm going to be painting and putting mushrooms and stuff over it. And then making the village inside with the green one, like I said, black stacks in the bottom, sellotape it all down. I'll probably get it as flat as I can, probably get a spray paint or something just to make it a nice green colour or whatever. Make a little canopy to go over the top so when it rains it's not going to fall on top of them. And then make the other village in that as well. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. So you're going to see lots of fairies houses all being built. And believe me, there's a lot of fairy energy here. So definitely need to get that sorted. And now the weather's getting to a nice place, I can do that. So we'll do the fairy area first, and then I'll get some cute little plants and flowers that they're okay with. Get some that last just for the summer seasons, and get some that would go through the winter. Get a few different ones. I want to start growing my herbs and stuff as well, getting some pots and things like that. So it's going to be fun. Proper getting into it all now. So yeah, anything I do, my darlings, to do with the fairies or to do with my crafting will be shared with you. Most definitely. I like it when I do it when other people are watching. It makes me feel a bit more happy. So what are we on today? We're on Thursday, aren't we? Yeah. We're on Thursday. So what I'm thinking is Saturday night, it'll be about 10, 11 o'clock my time. Oh, I will do a fairy garden watch and we can see what the fairies are up to. Believe me, they've got houses everywhere. They've got houses outside, they've got houses in here. I am very creative. When it comes to being able to draw pictures and things like that, no, I can't draw to save my life. I draw in my way, as I said earlier, but I can't draw. I wouldn't be able to draw a person's face or do anything like that and make it look really cool like some of these artists do. But I am creative in the way of designing things and making things look pretty and stuff. I've got the eye for like that sort of thing. So if somebody was to bring me something, so like for instance, I make my fairy dresses. Somebody I buy, or somebody brings me a blank dress, skirt, top. I can look at that and see how I want it, and actually put that dress, whatever, together for the thing. I've done that for a lot of my fairy festivals. I've made my own outfits. I've bought the dress and the top, but I've decorated and designed it and done all of that on my own. That side of it. and I am very creative in that. And that's what my teacher used to say to me at school. You may not like your drawing that, and you don't really find that yourself very comfortable doing that, but you are very good at putting things together and being creative and and making things look really beautiful and really pretty. That's my fairy mind. And with fairies, everything's got to be glittery and light and pretty. And obviously, I really badly wanted to put glitter onto my little thing I've put on the wall today. But I think the way that it looks really pretty. So I'm not going to bother, which is mad for me because normally I'd want glitter on everything. Yeah, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Flower arrangements, yes. Well, this no, I don't want to give any of that up. I'm still going to be doing little flower arrangements. Like I said to you, I'll be doing my little wreaths and things and little bouquets if people want them, but it'll be artificial. Um, so yeah, I'm still going to be doing a lot of stuff. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I do my best. I don't try to be brilliant or great like anybody. I just like being myself, and I give my best. I do my best. That's all I can do. And I like to educate my guides on the things that I understand and I'm part of. And my fairies are a big part of my life, just as well witchcraft and everything else. But you know, music and dancing is other things that I've always loved. Very creative in many, many ways. The only thing I can't do is draw. So, but I enjoy being me. I enjoy doing what I do. Just got to get myself strong again, get myself back to normal. It's really, really cool. So what I'm going to do, my sweethearts, exactly, the best is all you can do. And I don't try to paint myself as being anything spectacular. I just paint myself as me. What you see is what you get. I've never ever said that I'm this, that when I'm not. The things that you know about me, the things that you experience from me are who I am. And I don't try to be anything else. And I just like bringing excitement and happiness and joyfulness to people. And I like people to share that enchanted world. A lot of people sit here and they laugh at people like me and they're like, oh my God, she believes in fairies and that. But the thing is they only know fairies through what they've been shown and what they've seen on TV and that. They don't realise that fairies are part of the godlands, they're part of ancient beings, you know what I mean? They've been here for centuries, they were here before we even existed. And they have been around and they used to be able to be free and be open. A lot of people also think that with a lot of the Fae and that, oh, they're these really cute little beings that run and swing round with wings on. But fairies back in the day, before Victorian times and that got hold of it, fairies didn't have wings. They didn't need wings. They can go through dimensions and get to stop licking my bed. Um, they can go through different places. They can go through different dimensions and areas. So there's no need for them to have wings. Yeah, some of them do. Some of them, and the more human-looking ones, yeah, they do. Some of them, but not all of them. Some fairies don't have no wings. They're just tiny, or they're really big. Different sizes, but different structures of them. They're really tall, or they're really short. Some of them have wings, some of them don't. A lot of them do not look human, even though they've got bodies, heads, and whatever, and they've got humanoid sort of shapes. They're not. They're not human. They're not like us. They're completely the opposite. So, no, I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but if you're going out there thinking that you're going to find a Tinkerbell out of Peter Pan, then you're looking for the wrong thing. That's just 21st century thing put up to scratch on how to try and explain something that is different. Um, A lot of them don't look like that. They look like their natural habitat. They look like nature. So when they're walking about and they're doing their thing and they're flying and they're doing whatever, 'cause some of them do have wings, you know, when they're about doing their thing, you don't always see them. You can't because they look like their habitats. They have things growing out of their bodies. They have things growing out of their heads. That they fit in with the habitat. That's how they survive. They've had to exist, be able to be safe. So, don't automatically think, oh, well, if I start working with fairies, they're going to look like this, they're going to look like that. Just be prepared that not all of them look human. A lot of them only show in a human form because it's easier for us to comprehend what they look like that way. Um, but for anybody that is truly involved with the fairies, they will tell you that they do not look like Tinkerbell or anything like that off of the TV. They can look really scary, but if you know the energy in that, then they're not so scary. And then you come to see them in a different way that they're actually really beautiful creatures, very beautiful because they're unique and they're different, and because they don't look like us, you know, they're just remarkable creatures, remarkable. And yet there are some that look more like us and are easier to comprehend. Elven people look very human-like. Um, Again, they can be really tall, they can be really short. Really depends. Some of them have wings, some of them don't. Um, the problem is in our world, people don't know what to think or believe about what we believe in because of what we've been learnt on TV or seen on TV. That's what people presume it is, and it isn't. They're not these little mystical creatures that fly around after humans and stopping humans from growing up and stuff like that. That's not what they're here for. They're here to look after nature. They're here to look after the natural world and to make sure that all things are running smoothly. And they will work with some humans if you prove that you're worthy of them working with you. So do not piss them off or upset them or do bad things. Don't disrupt nature. Don't be disrespectful. Don't expect that everything's going to be perfect with them because, you know, sometimes they want you around them and they love you, and other times they don't. They just want to be left alone. They most definitely have got characters that can be one way and another. For me, luckily, a lot of my fae that I communicate and connect with, I've been in communication with since I was 5. Okay. So they've got to know me, I've got to know them. I have that relationship with them already. But they still have their moments where they just want to be left alone, just as they know sometimes I need my moments and I need to be left alone as well. So they we respect each other and we understand that. And that's important. And don't expect that working with the Fae is always going to be rainbows and bridges and lights and positive thing because you're going to learn. You start working with these sort of beings, you're going to learn a lot of things, and you're going to see what they really are about. Some of them are like they're humanoids. They are humanoids. Okay, they do look human. They have got arms, legs, head, bodies, and things like that. They just might be slightly shaped different. Their complexions are different. A lot of them, like I said, look like their natural habitat. You have got some that are more human looking, and the more pretty looking version, as some people would say in the 21st century. To me, they're all beautiful. But in the 21st century, the idealistic fairy would be a young female or male that's very beautiful. There are some like that, but a lot of them are beautiful. They're just different. They're not like these stereotypic images that people paint them to be. Yeah, I've got these beautiful girls all around me with their wings and they look stunning, but believe me, I do understand what they look like, really. And even though my girls are 9 times out of 10 show me in forms like this, I've seen them in their true forms as well. Um, Not so scary as what some of the forms can be. Um, my girls in their true form, I've got a lot of nature bits coming out of their head, and skin's slightly different to our skin. They don't have these pale skins. Clara, Primrose, Liara, and that actually have this sort of very pale sort of between a blue and a purplish skin. Okay, but it's very fine and very faint, and you can still see a bit of normal flesh through it. But in parts of their faces, they're stained with this colour, and that they have different coloured faces and things that they're absolutely stunning. Like they don't all go around with peachy skin like we've got. You know that some of them have got very beautiful skin, but they're different colours. You know, some of them are blue, some of them are a pale purple blue colour, some of them have got red skin, some of them haven't. Some of them do look more fleshy like us. You know, it really just depends on them. In true forms, my girls have different coloured skins to what we've got, but yet they're still very beautiful. You know, like a little bit like what Avatar looks like that, but the skin's not as dark blue as that. Um, it's very naturey looking. Blue skins, pale green skin, fleshy with a bit of green tint. That's what my beautiful Primrose has. She has skin like mine, bit paler, and then she's got mixes of the green in her skin. So in certain positions, you can see she's got green to her face, and it's the same with her sisters and that as well. And they have all these flowers and plants and things growing out of their head, and they mix in with nature. And after you should beat it, you know, might get seen. That's what I'm saying, because a lot of people look for the really beautiful things and think that they're automatically nice fairies and that they're looking for the really ugly things and they're the bad fairies. But that is not the case. You know, there's ugly and beautiful in all walks of life, light and dark. Okay. And what is ugliness? Ugliness is only what people call it. You know, like you see an unattractive person, oh, that person's ugly, but how are they ugly? The looks is not what makes the person, it's the heart and what they've got inside. Okay, that's what makes somebody beautiful. You could meet the most beautifulest woman in the world, she could be the most beautiful stunning thing, but she's got the most wickedest and nastiest temper. That makes her ugly. That makes her unattractive. It's not about the looks, it's about what's inside. Okay, and it's the same with our darlings. You know, some of them are beautiful and easy to the eye, some of them, to some, are less not, and they wouldn't entertain them. They might think they look a bit demonic looking or whatever, you know, but they're not. It's just how they are, how they look. They're still very beautiful. I don't see any form of fairy as being ugly or yuck. I think they're all individually beautiful in their own way and unique in their own way, light and dark. Okay, it's like a lot of people say a lot of things about the dark fairies, but the dark fairies would 9 times out of 10 just won't entertain human. They don't like human. Okay, they won't entertain human. They'll leave you alone. The only time they start latching onto you or trying to do anything is when you do things wrong, or you discourage, or you disrespect places that they're connected to. Apart from that, the dark fairies won't entertain you, and they don't need any permission or any excuse to attack you or start with you. They will do that without there being a reason. That's why 9 times out of 10, they stay out of your way and you stay out of their way. And they'll just leave you alone, because a lot of people put light and dark, good and bad. But the fact is, the fairies are not either good or bad. They're in between, okay? They weren't apparently heavenly enough to go to the gates of heaven, and they weren't bad enough to go to hell. Okay, so they're in the liminal. Okay, so they're in their own division of their own, even though they're still part of the spirit world and spirit realms. They're not the same as the other spirits. They're different. They still have a living aspect to them. Um, you see a lot of things in you that people, because people hear other people's views on fairies and views on different creatures and things. That's what they presume to go out and look for, and they don't realise that that isn't how it is. No, you're going out looking for these really attractive young women and men that have got wings and that. You're not going to find very many of them. They are about, but they're very, really well hidden. You know, they don't want to be seen and they don't look like us. They've still got their natural habitat stuck to them. So it's going to be really difficult for you to see them unless you've got fairy sight or anything like that. Okay, like me, it's very difficult to see. So a lot of people go around their life believing that those things are not real because they don't see them, but they don't see them because they don't believe in them and because they're not supposed to see them. The Fae are very, very acknowledgeable and very clever, and they have been here for centuries and centuries, and seen many different human life forms happen, and they've never been impressed with how we act as people and the things we do. A lot of us fairies actually find humankind the people that have no spirituality, not very nice. Um, the humans that think that they are everything can bring everybody else down. Now, the thing with fairies, when it comes to humans, we find the proper humans arrogant, disrespectful, and chaotic. Okay, we get called chaotic because we're part of nature, and that humanity is chaotic. Okay, the things that we do to each other, the things that we say to each other, how we treat each other, the things we do to animals, the things we do to the planet, all of this sort of stuff. Why do you think that the Fae are so weird about working with us? You've got to be a pretty special person and build that relationship with them and show them you can trust them for them to work with you. That's why it took me years of my dedication. And luckily for me, there was a connection because of them coming to me when I was young for a reason. But I still had to build myself up. I still had to build their trust. I still had to do everything that anybody else would have to do. And that's what's important. And it's important to just remember that not everybody's supposed to be the same, and never paint a book by its cover just because what people tell you or what you read in books. Be your own judge of character. There's so many things wrote and said about them that people don't really know if they want to work with them or not because they're so scared of them or whatever. And you don't need to be scared of them. Yeah, be wary, be careful with them. You don't need to be scared of them. You know, there's good and bad in everything, just as there is in human. And normally the bad ones will stay away from you and don't want to know you. And the fairies of the light are the ones that are more forthcoming to you and open and will talk and communicate and stuff like that. You know, just be respectful and have boundaries when it comes to them. Though. They don't just like being disrupted or their fairy realms being walked into if they don't really know you and things. You know, when you get to my point where you've been doing things for a long time, you've been around these energies for a long time, they kind of become adapt to you as you are adapted to them. So for me, I can go into my woodlands and walk into my areas and they've got no problem at all because I've done that for 12, 13 years on top of all of my other years with them as well. Okay. So I can go and be where I want to be when I want, but I will still ask permission to move into an area or do whatever. It's out of respect. The Fae are very tricky little people and they don't like minimal surprises. They don't like things being dropped on them. They don't like being thanked. They don't like any of this sort of thing. They see it very downgrading to them. It's true. But don't get me wrong, I don't mind people saying thank you to me when I help them, but I'd rather somebody show me that they're grateful than telling me thank you. You know, I'd rather see it than hear it. I like to see gratitude more than I do thankfulness. You know what I mean? Like, and a way to get fairies to love you and to respect you is to love nature, be honest, be true, do not be judgmental, and work your own way. Learn to get to know them your own way. Yes, take advice. There are some good books and good people out there that talk about them, like me and a few other people I know online. Not saying not to listen to or read things, but I'm just saying take it as hearsay. Okay, when you read it and you write it down, yeah, have it there. It can be a go back to, but don't take everything that you read or you get told. Okay, write it down and make your own extension of what you think. Okay, because if you went and listened to everything that people say about fairies, ghosts, and all these sort of things, none of us would ever go near them. You know, and what's been one person's experience doesn't mean that it's somebody else's. This is what we've got to remember. And it all depends on how those people acted at those times as well. So, no, as long as you're respectful, you don't make promises and break them. If you're putting food out there, well, like I've said to you time and time again, when it comes to working and communicating with the Fae, never ever say that you're going to do things for them and then not do it. They cannot stand being let down and they cannot stand being lied to. Okay. And they look at that as being a lie. Okay. If you've said you're going to do something, then you don't. They're not so forthcoming that you make an excuse to why you didn't do something. When you tell the fairies you're going to do something, do it because you do not want to get on the wrong side of them. As long as you're respecting nature, that you set boundaries of how many times you can give them food. Even going for a walk, you might find a beautiful little stone or something, gift that to them. As long as you let them know your intentions. Okay, I don't mind you being here in my garden. I don't mind you staying here. I don't mind you looking after my flowers. I don't mind you making home here. But I'm not looking to work with you. I'm just looking to have you in my home area and to have your energy around because I like your energy. You know, make it clear to them. If you are somebody that wants to work with them, then make it clear. I would like to work with you, but could we start by trying to build the relationship and then as I learn from you, then we'll become closer. But like I said, setting out boundaries on how many days a week you can put food out. You have to set boundaries with them so they understand. Don't just go start cutting your grass and doing things like that and scaring the hell out of them. They don't like anything like that. If you're going to do anything in your garden and you're going to tidy up and you're going to do things, give them a little warning to say, guys, you're going to hear some noise out here. I'm just about to do some grass cutting and things like that. So that's what the noise will be. So they know. The same with like your flowers and that. When you're de-weeding your flowers and stuff like that, don't go throwing them in the bin and things like that. They cannot stand you wasting that. Hang it up and use it for your magical practices. Or if it's not something that you use, then put it into a composting heap or area so that you can make soil that can go back into nourishing plants and wildlife and it can grow again. Okay. Don't do things like that will upset them if you start throwing weeds and stuff away. If you go start doing things in your garden or letting people come into their area without them saying it's okay or asking them if it's okay. They don't like anything like that. Um, they don't like being discriminated against when people don't really know what they're about. Get to know them. That's their argument. Respect their habitat. Set them boundaries and rules so they know how far to step and you know how far to step with them. If you don't want to work with them, don't put fairy doors and stuff in your house, okay? It's okay to have them in your garden if you just want them about in your garden, but don't put anything in your house if you don't want them in your house. And just make your rules and your settings clear to them. Be respectful. Don't make promises and break them. Do not say thank you to them. Do not apologize to them. They do not like that. Find other ways to show your appreciation. So instead, when they do something, instead of saying, oh, thank you for doing it, say, I give you lots of love and gratitude for what you've done. I am very grateful for your help. Things like that. If you've done something and you feel you've done something that might have upset them, do not say, I am sorry. They cannot stand that either. Just say, I come to you and I hope that what I've done has not displeased you. And if it has, I give you love and I give you blessings and I ask for your forgiveness. Just don't say sorry. Okay? They find that sort of stuff offensive. And it's like they're in debit to you and you're in debit to them, sort of thing. And fairies don't like to owe anybody anything. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. They'd rather have their bill paid and everything be paid there and then so that they can be happy. Keep your promises. Love nature. If you want them in your life, let them know you want them in your life. If you don't want to work with them, but you do want to give them somewhere to live, let them know. Okay? Offerings, playing music, singing, all of these sort of things, drumming, all of these sort of things keep your fairies happy. Okay? Um, is every fairy going to be forthcoming to you and happy? Not every fairy's going to want to talk to us, but the ones that do will normally be the ones that are around you. I'm not saying that the other ones are not about, but 9 times out of 10, they just, like I said, they won't entertain you unless you give them a good reason to. And it's not normally for a good reason. So when you are trying to communicate with them and talk to them, if that is what you're trying to do, always make sure that you ask out for the fae of the light, the good energy, and say that you don't welcome any of negative or dark energy. You only accept the energy of the light, the fae of the light. To keep yourself protected, use protection, use things to keep yourself in that place. Okay. Um, it's important. You still need to use protection stuff. Hello, shapeshifter. How are you? It doesn't take that much. Like, to be honest, it takes a lot for you to disrespect them. I mean, you know, those things that I've mentioned to you are the only ways you're going to disrespect them. If you do anything to nature, if you lie and you break promises to them, all them sort of things. As long as you keep on the right side of those sort of things, you're going to be fine. Pretty good. How are you? I'm doing okay. Just done my little bit of art onto the wall, but I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm feeling positive. Just been getting myself all fairy sorted and getting my room done, and I'm going to be getting off soon. So I said about an hour ago that I was going to be leaving, and I'm still sat here talking. But I love talking to you guys, and I've missed you all. But for anybody that does come back and misses the show, please rewind and watch back so you can see what I've got up to and stuff. And like I said, do keep an eye out for any of the other videos. And like I said, anything that's to do with fairy, crafting, all of that's all going to be live. So you see that there are going to be some fairy garden watches coming up shortly. The first one hopefully is going to be on Saturday. We're going to be getting out and doing a few investigations again as well, and just trying to get back to the swing of things a little bit, guys. Bringing some excitement over the summer holidays, and hopefully kick my butt back into shape and get myself back on that tally. I think a lot of us need to do that. Getting these uplifting shows again and music shows, all of that sort of stuff. It needs to be done. I need to get back to me. For ages now, I've not really wanted to do very much, and I've not really been doing very much apart from just my usual stuff here and helping people that are not online, actual people. Apart from that, I've been keeping to myself because I just, like everybody else, had weird energy and just not felt myself. I was finally starting to feel a little bit myself again. Still a lot of work to do, but I'm getting there. And it all starts with me hanging with my darlings because they cheer me up, and hanging with you guys as you are my darlings as well. So need to get back to doing the things that I love doing, because they're the things that make me happy and keep me going. So yeah, like I said, watch this video back. Obviously, keep an eye out for the channel for all of the crafting and other bits that I'll be doing. I will be doing some more meditations and music shows and stuff. I do really need that. I know you guys do as well, and that's something I really love to do. And I am a healer, and that's why I'm going to be doing my Reiki and things like that. So I do really need to be bringing that back into my system. So yeah, oh yeah. And the thing is, for a lot of people, when they hear the word fairies and that, they automatically presume that it just speaks as like the person that these creatures are, yeah. But fairies don't necessarily just mean the person, the creature. It's also the name that is given for a place in the other world, the faraway land, whatever you want to call them, okay? And a lot of these creatures, even though a lot of people do try to put them as different things like the element spirits and the nature spirits and the fairy spirits, but they're all one massive big family. They're all part of the same realms and community. The fairies look after the woodlands and help the woodland to grow and help Mother Nature and Mother Earth, like they do this sort of thing. And then you've got like your Drades and other energies. All of these energies are some form and part of fairies, the fae. Okay, that it's just another way of describing creatures and spirits of the natural world, and it's a way of explaining a creature that can't be explained any other way. It's different. It's magical. It's not of something that we know much about for some of us, obviously. So yeah, they are all part of the Fey world, and the Fey world is very much part of the forests and the natural world, and their realms are the most closest to our Earth. And as I've said to you before, when you go over to the fairy world is like the mirror of this world. Okay, the only difference is their nature, their ways of living is completely different. Their habitats are untouched, undestroyed, so it's fully grown the way it should be. So when you go to their realm, it's like seeing the way that our realm would look if we looked after it and we didn't do the things that we've done. Okay, they have their realm, we have our realm. We should have both had the exact same sort of realm. Okay, but because we departed from each other and we started moving away from their beliefs, and we started not believing in the gods, and we started not believing because they're all together, the gods, the fairies, everything. Because we stopped believing in that and we stepped away, we come away from them, not them come away from us. And then that forced them to have to go into hiding and all other sort of things, which is not nice. Um, and they've had to learn to adapt. They've had to learn to be who they are, okay, on their own. So that's why they get really excited and they get really happy when the good ones actually do meet people that see them and connect with them like I do. And I am a fairy. I am fairy. I was born a fairy. Okay. Um, Big story behind that, but that's the fact. Okay. That's why me and them have that link, and I respect them and I understand the struggles and the hardships they've had to go through, and I can understand why they're very weary of humankind. I'm weary of what you call humans. I might have decided to come back here to share my love of my fairy self with others, to awaken others, but I don't see myself as human. I know I'm not human because I don't feel like I'm at home here. So, and I know too many things and I've seen too many things to even know that. So, the fae is just a word for a being, an entity, an energy that not everyone can explain, see. And mystical creatures of the forests, of the land. Some of them have wings, some of them do not. Some of them are tiny, some of them are tall. Everybody thinks that elven people are really, really tall. Well, not all of them. Some of them are really tall, some of them are really short. Some of them have wings, some of them don't have wings. The same with the fairies. A lot of fairies don't have wings because they can go through different dimensions through their travel and the things that they do and through nature. But there are some that have wings, okay? And the thing is with the fae folk as well, they will show to you in a way that is more pleasant for you. Now, if they were to show you in their true form, a lot of you probably get scared out of your wits if you see them in their true form. So what do? They're very good shapeshifters. So they can make themselves look like these cute boys and girls, these cute men and women with the wings and stuff, because that's how we've been depicted to believe they look like. Okay. When really, they look like their habitat, like nature. They do. And, yes, they've got arms, legs, head, torso, body. They've got humanoid figures, but they don't look it. They don't look it. You never look at a fairy and go, that's human, because there's just no way that they are. You can tell they're not. Um, Everything's different. And nothing is ugly in my eyes. Everything has beauty in its own way. I find every creature, everything to do with the Fey world beautiful and stunning because they're unique and they're not understood properly. And just because of the remarkable things that they do as well, like all of Fey creatures are stunning, even the ones that look like goblins and that, hobgoblins, which are the good ones. No, some of them do look like that. It doesn't mean that they're evil. That's why I say don't judge a book by its cover. And some of them choose to just do the nice, pleasant form to keep us happy. And some of them, if they know that you're aware of how they look, they will show to you in that way. But when they're working with you and with other people, like for instance, when I come on here and I talk to you guys and I learn and educate you about you guys, they're not going to show you in their true form because that'd scare half of you. So they come to you with the wings and with looking like human. And some of them are very human looking, but a lot of them are not. But they shapeshift to something that you can comprehend and deal with. That is what this is all about. So exactly, everything is beautiful. And that's what I was explaining in this video earlier. Like you get a lot of people, oh, that person's really ugly, but like you could meet the most beautifulest woman or bloke in the world, yeah, most stunning looking, okay, but they've got the most nastiest temper, the most horriblest personality. That makes a person ugly. That makes a person not approachable. It don't matter about how nice looking they look or how well dressed they are. If they've got a stinky, horrible attitude, then they're an ugly person because of the way that they act. That's what I say about, don't judge a book by its cover. Just because you see beautiful women and beautiful men doesn't mean that they're beautiful people. And sometimes you walk past these poor souls that you look at as being ugly, tell them that they're ugly and you're nasty to them. And they've got the most loving and purest soul ever. And they're so easy to fall in love with because they're so kind and so good. This is what people need to remember. In this world, we can learn on how to judge people, how to act towards people, when that's not how this is. Nobody should be judged or looked at because they're different or they don't look like somebody else. We're all made and formed to be the way we are for a reason, okay? And everybody is individually beautiful in their own way. And I don't think that looks and stuff makes you beautiful. It's what's inside. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you care for others that makes you beautiful. Well, my first experience was when I was 5. Obviously, probably way before that because I remember stories from my stepmom and from my godmum, and from my mum when I've grown up, where they would tell me about when I was a little girl. I would sit there and talk to things that weren't there. I would always be acknowledgeable of things around me. I would babble to myself. just she knew, okay, because obviously, for anyone that doesn't really know, I lost my mum a couple of years ago, but for years and years and years, I wondered where my abilities and stuff had come from, and it turned out that it come from my mum. When my mum was like young, she was a witch and she did do things in magic and things like that. But due to a bad experience, she decided to give the witchcraft up because she got possessed by an energy. But beforehand, she'd gone to a friend and she'd asked them to help her, three witch friends, and they said that they couldn't help her until she acknowledged the fact that she was pregnant. She laughed at them and said there's no way that she was pregnant. She'd been having sickness and that, but she just thought that she'd had a bad stomach. This sickness got more and more after them saying it, so she ended up going to the doctor, finding out that she was pregnant, and went back and admitted to them that she knew that she was pregnant and she acknowledged it. That's when her and these three friends of hers done a ritual that summons a spirit that is an elemental, a fire elemental. Her name is Aura. She is one of my spirit guide and things like that. Now, she was summoned to my mum to protect my mum while she was pregnant, okay, because of this negative energy that attached to her. And they told her that when I got to a certain age, Aura would come over to me. My mum didn't know her name because she wasn't allowed to, but she said that she would go to my mum's first child, which is me. And my mum was like, so the energy will pass on to my child. And they're like, yeah, because your child is gifted. Your child will be more gifted than you are. Your child's not of normal. There's different things about them. And obviously, I was born. My mum had a weird experience at the hospital where some little winged people came in, kind of told her that there was a connection between them and the baby she was having, and that, baby's urine now. Obviously, I didn't find this till years later, but my first experience where I remember was when I was 5. I started with seeing spirits and ghosts, and they used to petrify me and scare the hell out of me because I didn't understand what they were. And I always had visits from the faith folk as well, and they used to scare me too. It got that bad with the faith folk that my mum had to end up keeping my bedroom door and my windows shut to keep them. And well, she thought it would keep them out. I thought it would keep them out. It didn't. Obviously, I didn't tell my mum that I was seeing fairies. I just said I just keep seeing these weird things coming in my house, my room. They scare me, mummy. Because she would have the windows and stuff shut. And there was only 2 spirits that I was okay with. One of them was a relative of mine, which was my grandmother, but at the time I didn't know that she was my grandmother because it was my mum's foster. And obviously Aura. And they were the only 2 spirits that I was okay with. And they're the ones that learned me and explained to me that, when people pass over, they go to another world. And sometimes some of these spirits need help. And this is why these spirits are here. And this is why you're seeing them, because you're gifted. So after I then had to learn to accept them. And I did accept them in the end. And I started to be comfortable with spirit and that. But I was still really weirded out by fairies. Okay. I didn't know they were fairies at the time. There were several occasions they tried to interact with me. I screamed at them, told them to get out my room. I don't like you. I don't know what you are. I'd get really scared until my relative and my spirit guide turned around and told me that I wasn't to fear them and that they were friends of mine and that you need to learn to build a relationship with them and then you'll come to understand what you are when you're older. So my first attempt of trying to become acquainted with them still did not go right. And I screamed at them, told them to go away. They flew. I felt really bad on myself because I felt I'd let myself and let them down because I was trying. And the second time they turned up, I had my window shut. They turned up, they're all outside the window and I could see them all there. And I got off my bed and I plucked up the courage to go up to the window and kneel on my box, speaking through the window, and I'd put the cake down on the side. And they kept pointing at the cake because they wanted the cake. And I looked at them and I looked at the cake and I said, are you saying you want the cake? And they were nodding like to say yes. So I took a deep breath and I opened the window, and they came in. I was a bit, comprehensive of them. Oh my God, like things like that. Like, didn't really know what to think. They're in my room now. I'm acknowledging them. Um, they sat down. They were pleasant. The one that was in charge of all of them come forward and spoke to me. She was in this most beautiful white dress, and she was absolutely stunning. And she was off the light, and she was talking to me and telling me that I didn't need to fear them. And I'd seen Peter Pan by then, and I said, "You look a bit like Tinkerbell out of Peter Pan." And she giggled and she goes, "Oh, we are the concept of that, but we are not that. Tinkerbell is a character that's been made to believe is mythological when we're not. We are real. So she stands for what we are, fairies, pixies, whatever, but we're not like her and the way that she's painted." And I was like, okay. And, they're there, and I felt really happy that, we were having this conversation. I broke the cake and I gave them both sides of the cake, and they gave me half the cake back. And I looked at my guide and my grandmother at the time to see if it was okay to take it. And they said it was fine. They were friends. So I took the food. And there was a lot of controversial about taking fairy food. But if my guides tell me it's safe, and I've had them all my life, and these fae have never done me any wrong, if they give me an offering or something, I will take it. Obviously, when you're in their fairy realm and you're in a place like that, do not take food from them. Do not take food from them when you're dreaming of them either. But if you're physically awake and you know your energies, you've worked with your Fey energies for a long, 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 long time, and you know that you can trust them 100%, there's no problem in having a little bit of food and sharing it. There isn't, I've done it, but don't go doing it if you don't really know them. So, yeah, they have their cake. We talk a little bit more. Then they kept coming back every day, coming and seeing me, and I would go to nature and I would learn about the woods and learn about what they were connected to. They'd learn about my wisdom and things like that. As I got to an age where I would understand what I stood for, that's when they revealed to me that I was a fairy, that I came back in human form because I wanted to influence and help others. And I had a big fascination with humankind. Where a lot of the Fae would look at you guys and think, "Oh my God, you're appalling, you're irritating, you're not nice, you're not this, you're not that." I had a big fascination, apparently, as a fairy with humankind, and I believe that there are some out there that are good, and I was right. I was right because there are good ones, and I don't look at you guys as human because you're spiritual. I think when you're spiritual and when you're open and you use abilities the way that you do, there's something special about you, okay? And I'm not saying that all humans are bad or nasty. I'm just saying some. We all know that. And so I found that really, really hard. And over the years, they built me up to learn more about myself and the fact that I was, fairy, and I'd come back and decided to take human form to influence and to help others. A lot of the time, I feel very lost in this world because I know it's not my world. But at the same time, I care about humankind, and I care about our earth, and I care about all of it surviving. So I chose to take it upon my wings to take my place out of my comfortable, magical, and safe place and put myself into a world that got a lot of stuff going on. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And through being human, as they would say, I've met amazing people and learned to learn more about mankind. And obviously, like any person that's been a fairy and gone human, we do need to learn about ourselves again. We need to discover that we're fairy. We need to start working into that again. It's not like I was born and I knew straight away I was fairy. I knew I was different, but it was through trial, error, connection, talking, being taught, teach, and guided that I found my path. And the ladies that helped my mum and gave aura to my mum that come to me told my mum that I would be gifted. and that I'd be far more gifted than her, and that I would have experiences that sometimes can't be explained. Uh, they weren't wrong. Uh, I don't try to be anything that I'm not. I don't try to say that I know everything, because I don't. You know, in this world, we're here to learn, to grow, and to learn lessons. Because by doing those things, we find our true heart, our true life, our true way. Okay, and that's when we can be our most purest. Everything that we endure and go through in life for a reason, and it's to learn us, to grow us, to keep us strong, to awaken us to our new and our true essence, and to remind us that we have been so much more than just human. This world and where we are now, we don't come from here, we come from up there. We come from another system, another place. We have been part of many realms and systems in the world. Yeah. That's why sometimes when we go to places we know we've not been to in this time, deja vu happens. Like, for instance, I went to Texas for the first time in 2022. When I walked into Texas, I felt I'd been there before. I felt home there. And that's because I had been in that in a previous life. I'd been an energy that was connected to those places. Okay. So we've walked many lives and been many things. Okay. And we do have the ability to be able to remember things, but it starts with believing in yourself first and knowing that you can do that and open to it. So, and trusting in what you get, you know, and don't be so quick to take every piece of advice from a book or from a person. Be your own energy in your own way. That's just how I am. Hello, brother Stemmers. How are you? Um, it's all about just being yourself. The whole point of being in this world is learning to walk your own path, being comfortable with walking your own path, and being willing to learn and to grow. You know, when you come into this world, we're supposed to have lessons. We're supposed to experience all the different emotions we get. That's what makes us who we are. Okay, so, and for some of us, we come back to try and guide you through that help you through that. You know, like me, I like to do uplifting streams. I like to do prayer streams. I like to do music streams. I like to take you to the woodlands and show you the woodlands, sit there, play my drums and do my little rituals and things. What I am. And I know it makes people happy, it makes people feel good. I'm good, thank you very much, Brother Seamoth. It's really good to see you. So, you know, just be you and don't judge things because of what you hear or you see. Okay. Not everything's always what it seems. Um, it annoys me because you get so many people talk negative things about things and mislead people with what they say when everybody's experience is going to be different. I don't talk to you to tell you to act a certain way. I talk to you to give you influence, to give you confidence, step in your own power, and to trust it. And I'll give you that help and that, you know, uplifting energy. I'll give you advice if you need it. But I ain't here to tell you how to live your life. That's for you to work out how you're going to live your life. I can just be here to be your little shoulder and your little help. I'm just here to spread that little fairy dust all over you all so you can be yourself. Don't be scared to be your unique self, as I always say to everybody. It has been hot. It's been hot for weeks now. Thankfully, for the last couple of days, there has been a slight breeze, but still, it doesn't really do very much. But, you know, I think I've spent my life having a lot of people turn around saying, oh, but this girl's crazy, she don't know what she's talking about and stuff like that. And, you know, it really gets to me. It does really get to me because they ain't crazy and they ain't nuts. I know what I experienced is very real. And I don't try to make anybody believe in what I believe in. I just follow what I do and hope that other people will enjoy it as well. You know, people think it's crazy what we do and what we are because they've not experienced it. So therefore, because they ain't experienced it, it's not real, and that's not the case. People actually woke up and realised that for years and centuries we pushed energy away from us. We treated energy with disrespect, which is why they've disappeared. People would come to understand why the world is the way it is. You know what I mean? So don't be so quick to sit there and think, these people are crazy and these things don't exist, because they do. Oh, they do. Big time. Spirits, fairies, dragons, all of these energies exist, just not the way that you've been taught to learn about it. They're in the world, in the solar system. They're there in their energy forces and energy boundaries. There's so much more to this world. ETs, extraterrestrial, all of these things that we've learned and told are not real are real. Why do you think there are stories? Why do you think that things are mentioned constantly? How it's supposed to be. Anyway, I'm very happy that you found your sisters as well. And I do love my brothers and sisters here. I do love all my darlings in this room, and I do appreciate all of you. And I like the fact that you take your time and you listen to me. I don't do this to try to make you to be believers. I don't do this because I'm trying to get one up on everybody else. I do this because I know what I do is real, and my experiences are real. I do what I do because I care and I have passion, and I want others to be able to be their true self as well. And if I can give them a little bit of advice and guidance to do that, I'm going to do it. Not tell you how to be or how to act, but make you confident. So, and that's what I will keep doing. Don't try to be anything I can't be. And I'm proud of who I am. And I'm proud of you guys. Now, my darlings, it has been 3 hours and 41 minutes that this show's been on. I hope that my advice and my talking to you has helped you to understand a little bit more. And I hope that you enjoyed my artistic side that I did with the mushrooms and stuff. Anybody that didn't get to see it, please rewind and watch. And I just want to say thank you to all of my angels and darlings that have come into the room. Thank you for supporting me and being in here today. I hope that this talk and this conversation has helped you all. And I'm sending you lots of love, light, and blessings. And remember, my enchanted ones, always believe in magic and always believe in you, and know that you're always guided, loved, and protected by fairies. This fairy loves you. So I will talk to you all very, very soon. Keep your eye out for all of my shows, for any of my pre-records, my live shows to do with any of my crafting, any of my fairy garden watches, paranormal shows, things like that, cards, whatever, uplifting shows. Keep an eye out for it all, guys. Keep an eye out on Facebook and places like that where I'll post to let you know that that's going on. And yeah, hopefully we will get back to doing some good stuff and get my bum into gear again. So for everybody that has come in, lots of love, light, and blessings, my angels. Thank you for coming. Stay enchanted, my angels. Remember, this fairy loves you. And I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Love, light, and blessings, my angels, from me and from our fairy folk. Talk to you soon. Blessed be.